We are here with Sergei Minaev. Welcome.
Thank you.
And we had decided to invite you to talk about the way you manage your own brand. You're like a media, you're also a brand. We thought it could be very interesting, to share with us the way you manage all the websites you are in, Twitter, Facebook, and everything. But first of all, could you introduce yourself on all the activities that you have?
First of all, I have my wine business, which is quite huge. We're one out of 3 companies in Russia, which is called MBG, Amber Group Impex. The second one is my TV show on the federal TV, it's NTV. And the third activity is my internet show called Minaev Live, which goes Tuesday and Thursday, 1 hour of live air. That's it. And some books.
Yeah, some books. Yeah, because I think you start by selling books, writing books. Can you explain
yes, my first book was published in 2006 under the title of Luxe, and it sold like 700,000 copies in Russia. It became bestseller. Then I have my book was published in Germany, Italy, Eastern Europe, and like 15 countries. And then I started the weekly TV show on NTV Russia on Monday. And a year ago, I launched the Minaev Live in the internet. So, as you've been told, it's 1 hour of live show with the Skype connection with audience, different questions, social, politics, art, whatever.
It's like a show 2.0. It's maybe the first one in Russia.
No, I wouldn't say so, because the first one, the first TV broadcaster in Russian web and the Russian internet was TV Rain, Dozht. So they have started like 3 years ago, something. Okay. So and I've started the March of last year. Yeah.
Which kind of interaction do you have in your show? Twitter interaction?
Yes, we have a close connection with all the social media like Twitter, Facebook, and Vkontakte, which is the equal to the Facebook, Yeah. During the live air, you have you have possibility to see the live comments on the screen walls with Twitter and Facebook and all this stuff. So we quite linked to the social media, and I would say we belong to them. Yeah.
Okay. And what's your background with social media? When did you start your first page?
Well,
Facebook page
I started in 2003 in LiveJournal, okay. And within 2 years it became extremely popular in Russia. And after that I switched to Twitter. It was like 1 year and a half. Okay. Not so long ago.
How many followers do you have?
I've got like 60,000 followers on Twitter, and about 15,000 of LiveJournal and 6-7 on Facebook. So it's really, I'm not that huge like China Kandelaki or Ashton Kutcher.
Yet.
Yet.
Okay. And how do you manage all those accounts?
The major platform for me is Twitter. Let's say, I would say so, it's 80% of my private life, so dirty jokes, stupid jokes, all this stuff. Of course, I use this platform as media, okay. To make a presentation for my projects, my meeting with audience, for all this. But 80% is my private life. Okay. It's my private life.
And you tweet sometimes very late, like 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning.
You know what?
When do you sleep? And how do you, how do you manage all this?
Normally, all the cutting-edge discussion goes from 11 o'clock p.m. down to 3 o'clock at the morning. And, we've been witnessed a lot of people during that time stuck on Twitter. Just, it's a very hot discussion, I would say. And in that time, it's about 15 or 25 people, very active, speaking on serious topics, and there are all the major audience, 80% with cats and bubs and all this stuff. They are sleeping. So thanks God we could talk.
Yeah. Okay. And what do you see, in the future in terms of platform? Do you invest Facebook timeline, for example, right now, or are you still focusing on Twitter or in the new platform Vkontakte? What do you see in future?
Twitter these days is the fastest media because every day thousands of people use Twitter like the newsroom, like chat room. So all news, news of the world I get from Twitter. I don't use any other media like I know Lenta or Yandex, nothing, because every time, every second you have the fresh news on it. Okay, so you think now Twitter is getting like the press agency of Russian people? Absolutely, absolutely. It's that's the trendiest media for the moment. For the moment, I know that the Mail.ru they launched Futubra, which is equal to Twitter, but still sleeping. Okay. Let's see. let's see, because those guys. All this goes very fast. Yeah. So. Yes, and Mail.ru is one of the major player on this field. So have you met any interesting people on Twitter and then you met those guys in real life? Or can you share some stories that happen on Twitter and then has some consequences? Stories that you can share. The funny story. It was about a year ago. I saw two guys in one of the Moscow restaurants. They were tweeting about the person on the next table. And they were tweeting like 15 or 25 minutes, commenting on it. It was very funny. And finally, this guy discovered they're talking about him. No. Yeah. And it was just, it wasn't a real scandal, but it was like, tough game. Me personally, on Twitter, that's funny. First, I've got a colleague of mine on NTV, which is Vadim Glusker, who is living in Paris, and he's a chef of our bureau in Paris, and I've met him on Twitter. Being on the same channel, but we met on Twitter. The second one was Jay McInerney, one of the major authors, American authors, who, his book, this Bright Light, Big Cities, and also he's a wine columnist. And we met on Twitter, and we started chatting, and then exchange of emails, and that's the story. Okay. And let's say, a lot of my contacts for television, for my internet show, I'm making through Twitter. It's very fast. Something happens, so you get a connection, you ask questions, you get replies, and you please come to my show. Can you give some advice to some of the the audience, small luxury Russian brand? Speaking about because in last 6 months, 7 months, I see a lot of corporate accounts on Twitter, but it's it's very formal, no fun. They just they are trying to advise you, they are trying to share the information about the company's activity, but it's it's very poor, and you can see the the good example is media account of lento.ru, which is fun, which is unusual, and you know, they have a news, they have an official version, and they give you a backstage in very, you know, sometimes in very weird manner, but it's fun. It's fun. So try to entertain your audience. Try to play with them.
The Russian way of tweeting.
Yes. Yeah. So try to entertain them, because, you know, people spend about 43% of their time, I mean, in the offices, they spend on the social networks like YouTube, like Facebook and Twitter, and so
they need to have fun.
Their demand is just entertain me. So try to do this.
Okay. So we'll take just one or two questions from the audience. Do you have any question? You can speak in Russian or in English, up to you. Maybe in English. Okay, we have a mic. The mic is coming. Here, just on the left. Thanks.
Well, I introduced myself before already. My name is Olga Melnikova.
Nice to meet you.
I have a little funny question to you. Since you have made yourself a brand,
Vincent says so, not me.
Yeah. Thank you, Vincent. I repeat your definition. Do you monetize your being a brand? I see that you have a Swiss watch, which is a nice brand. Is there any correlation between the two? Let me put it this way.
Are you endorsed?
You know, I'm not Ashton Kutcher yet, who's tweeting for $1 million a second, but several companies involved in Minaev life with the broadcasted channels, with the equipment, and they found me on Twitter. We get in contact, and we're making business of this. I've never made any advertisement through my accounts. Like, you know, a lot of Russian bloggers, a lot of them, I mean, the first top 15, they have their price lists. So if you want to advertise your company or your product in my live journal, on my Twitter, this is like this. I never use this because, you know, I don't want to make my public accounts as a billboard, as a posters of somebody else's activities. That's what I see.
Okay.
Thank you for your answer.
Thank you.
Thank you. One more question. Okay, so I will ask the final question. So, do you think you're a media, or are you a brand, or are you a brand media? What's your definition?
You know, like Brad Pitt says in Seven, I'm all over, baby. I'm not a brand. Yeah, half a brand. But I would like to be a media person.
Okay. Okay.
To stay like this. Yeah,
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
It's very kind of you.
Bye.
Thank you.